Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd.
All right, we are here to teach everyone how to make my Pico. So I've got my great assistants here. I've got Ava Vanessa Montague. I've got Grace Montague.
Welcome back to Age of the Hockey Sticks Kitchen with Chef Gordon Ramsay.
We make a famous Pico de Gallo, and people in our neighborhood call it the best Pico they've ever had. Some people call it the second best Pico.
Catherine Horsley.
Actually, just like one person says that.
Catherine Horsley.
But everyone else calls it, of course, the best Pico on the planet. So we're gonna
Better than kitties.
So we're gonna teach you how to make it today. What you need tomatoes, white onions, lime, you need cilantro, you need jalapenos, and you need canned rotel.
But the Mexican flavor.
Yeah, Mexican
style lime.
Yeah,
and
let's see.
cilantro.
What's it say?
Mexican
style
style
lime and cilantro.
Thank you.
You need cilantro. You need Weiler's bouillon powder.
Make sure it hasn't expired.
Yes.
I do that by looking at it.
And you need salt.
Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd.
His face was pale and his eye was odd. But what if none of the souls were saved? They went to them make it impeccably shaved. By Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street.
Hello mates, this is Natalie Montague and I'm here to teach you how to cut a tomato. Obviously it's quite challenging because Eric likes his stuff cut exactly the perfect way.
All right, so we need to dice all the tomatoes. You want to have them in just small little diced pieces. So I cut the tomato in half, cut out the stem piece, and then while I'm cutting them, I lay them flat like that, and you take your little finger and put it just so it hangs over the knife just like that, so you know a stopping point. And I cut down to that point, and I do it like in 1/2-inch sections, and having your finger there stops it right before it cuts through the tomato, and I'll show you why that is important. So you cut it up crosswise each way, and then with your finger like that, it all stays connected, allowing you to flip the whole thing up and then just cut down on it all to dice it all into little pieces. So we are going to need, depending upon the size of batch you want to make, you just got to dice up a ton of tomatoes into whatever size you want your batch to be. So I'm going to do a big pile here, and we'll show you once that pile's done.
Yes, Dad. Be the hand model. Yes, son.
Work it, work it.
All right, so we've cut a ton of tomatoes. We have filled this with a ton of diced tomatoes, nice and full. Now we're just gonna finish up with the other ingredients. We still need onion, jalapeno, cilantro, some salt, bouillon, lime, and rotel. So I'm gonna start with the jalapenos. I wear gloves when I do the jalapenos just because the jalapeno juice is so hot afterwards, even for like hours or way into the evening. If you touch anything, you can burn yourself. So I wear gloves when I do the jalapenos. How I do the jalapenos, I cut the top off after having cleaned them. And then the key to really good pico is a lot of jalapeno taste. The challenge with that is when you have a lot of jalapeno taste, that usually means you have a lot of jalapenos, and so you make it too hot. The key to adding a lot of jalapeno taste without having a lot of jalapeno heat is taking out the seeds in the middle. So after you cut the jalapeno, if you just take a spoon or your fingers and pull out that center piece, so I cut them all up, I take that out, and then after doing so, I just wash it out and get all the little white seeds. We need to add onions. Onions you add to taste. Some people put in a lot, some people put in a little. That one is actually bad. On the inside it's black, that's not good. Get another onion here. Cut off the top and bottom. And after having cut off the top and bottom, then just take off the outermost layer. I don't know what Walker Scobell is, but I'm sure my daughters know what that is. And then once I have the onion, I use one of these choppers. If I don't cry. Whew.
Hey babe,
Yeah.
you can tell your audience, can it be a yellow onion?
It cannot be a yellow onion.
You don't have to cry about it.
It needs to be a white onion. Thank you for reminding me that that's an important ingredient. It has to be a white onion, preferably one that doesn't hurt your eyes this bad. And then use these choppers to really get it nice and fine, and don't cry. All right, so I've cleaned all of the jalapenos. So as you can see, there's no seeds in them. You want to really wash them out. That gives you a lot of great jalapeno flavor without getting a lot of jalapeno heat. I think that's one of the keys to really good pico, is being able to really get a lot of that pepper flavor in there. So I'm gonna cut them up into small little pieces here. Then I'm gonna put them in the chopper. I'm gonna chop them really nice and fine. And
Like how fine?
super fine. So it needs to be in tiny pieces. You don't want big jalapeno pieces in there. Now that we have the jalapenos ready, we want to get the cilantro ready. So cilantro comes in a bundle like this. I leave the tie on. I cut the bottom off. Most of the flavor is in the leafy top part of the jalapeno. The top part of the cilantro. And then the key to cilantro is after you take these little bundle wraps off, you need to really clean them out, because cilantro has a lot of dirt in it. It's grown in the mud, so it has a ton of dirt in there. So you really have to clean your cilantro very well. Spread the leaves out, really try and get it. And then I wring it out really good. I just squeeze it super tight. And then once I've done that with my cilantro, I wash off the cutting board, get all that dirt off so the dirt doesn't make it in. And then I spread out the cilantro, and you want to get any of the black rotten pieces out. You don't want any of that rotten flavor in your pico. And then I chop up the cilantro to be super fine. The cilantro needs to be an extremely fine chop. So I just keep spreading it out, trying to see any big pieces in there. Chop it up really fine. And I'm gonna do the rest of these bundles and get a really good selection of cilantro to use in our pico. All right, I have cut lines up. I've diced all my jalapenos, a really small dice. In that chopper, I've chopped the onions into a small chop. Cilantro is super fine. I've got all the tomatoes here. I've worked on all the rotel, so I've drained all the extra juice out of the rotel. I've actually tried to drain a little bit of the extra juice out of the tomatoes as well. You're gonna get a lot of juice in a pico, so you wanna drain it off a little bit. And now we're gonna mix it all. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw into about this size 5 things of rotel. We might add more. I add the rotel just to add some volume to it without cutting more tomatoes. And then as we add ingredients here, what you want to remember as you're adding ingredients is to kind of add them slowly. Don't add too much at any one time. Like, I don't want to dump in just this whole thing of jalapenos. My kids are trying to make me laugh, but they're not going to succeed. I'm just going to jump in some, right? Just to kind of start out where I want it to be. And then kind of add as we go. Onions, you want to go sparingly. That may be all I do. Okay, they made me laugh. That may be all I end up doing on onions. I will add more jalapenos, I'm sure, just for heat. Cilantro is a strong taste, so it's an excellent taste. It smells delicious, but it's a strong taste. So I start light there. I'm probably only going to add, to start with this large of a batch, I might start with 2 limes. The complete amount of 2 limes. Typically, I'd probably only start with 1 lime. It's hard per lime because you never know how strong or bland the taste from 1 lime is going to be. If I typically only start with 1, you actually want to go light with limes. They have a really strong acid taste. So you got to be careful there when you're doing limes. Just got squirted in the face. And then I will dust the entire top of it with bouillon. This is chicken bouillon. I'll just give it a really good dusting. I imagine we're going to add more bouillon than that, but I just kind of do a good dusting on the top. Salt, about the same. Just going to add a really good dose of salt on top. I'm going to mix it all, and then in the end, kind of taste it. Kind of decide what it's missing. Usually, I'm going to mix it all, and then my couple items I'm checking for are, is it hot enough? Do I need more jalapenos? Is it salty enough? This is a massive batch, so obviously I got to add a lot more. I'll go sparingly with the onion as I add all this, and we'll just keep going till I get it where it's at. So just by mixing that, I know it's way too tomatoey. I need more onion. I'm gonna need no more cilantro. I'm sure it needs more salt and a lot more pepper. So I'm gonna add some more salt in it. I can just tell by that how big that batch is I'm going to need. But I can just tell by looking at the amount of green in there, there's not enough green jalapeno. So I'm gonna add some jalapeno. It looks way tomatoey, so I still need some cilantro. And I'm gonna continue to mix that up. I haven't added more onion. I'm not gonna add more onion till the end. Onion is such a strong taste. I wanna be careful with adding onion. I kinda wanna get it where I like it before I finish it off with extra onion if I need more onion. So I've got a slotted spoon that's helping me kind of mix through that. So even though I drained off all the liquid off of the tomatoes, all the liquid off the rotel, and this thing is still super, super juicy, way more than just those limes I added in. So I'm going to taste it. See what we've got here. Pick an area that shows a good assortment of stuff. So the tomatoes are delicious. They're fresh out of our garden, but I'm really low on salt. I'm low on bouillon. My girls are dancing the Macarena behind the camera, trying to make me laugh again.
We want to taste it.
Oh, you want to taste it? They're dancing, hoping for some Pico. They're little Pico vultures. Hold on, you don't get any yet. I'm not ready. A master only allows his masterpiece to be touched. Back off, I don't want your hair. One ingredient you don't want in Pico is 14 and 17-year-old girl hair. It's the benefit of making Pico when you're bald. You don't have to worry about getting your hair in there. So I've added quite a bit now. The green ratio to the tomatoes is looking a lot better. It's feeling like it's gonna be much hotter than it was just a second ago. Don't want to double dip. I'm gonna grab quite a few spoons to keep checking. Okay, that's good. We are going to need all the jalapenos I have, and I have 4 or 5 over there that we're gonna need to mix in as well. The jalapeno, it's hard to tell because sometimes you get jalapenos that are super hot from the store and sometimes they're quite mild. This is a mild set. But I do need more onion, so I'm gonna add in some more onion. Not a ton. I actually think I'm really close on cilantro, but one of the things here is, you know, you kind of just do it to your own taste. I may like more of the cilantro than you. Natalie has an uncle that's allergic to cilantro, and he hates cilantro. We think it's the produce of the gods around here.
God's gift to mankind.
God's gift to mankind. Cilantro is proof that he wants us to be happy. So, we're getting a little bit good on the heat, actually. I still need more salt. What are we saying no to, girls? What do you... You're giving me the...
Oh, I'm saying no.
We just want to try.
Oh, you guys just want Pico.
Yeah, we just want Pico.
So we're getting there. So I'm going to just finish mixing this and keep adding things to taste. I don't have enough lime taste in there. I'm going to add more lime. I'm low as well. That there is no garlic in this recipe. The garlic taste that I'm going to get is going to come out of that bouillon. So I can tell a little bit that that zing that you get from garlic is not in here enough, so I need a little more bouillon. Okay, now I can taste the lime. So that's perfect. I want to just barely taste a little bit of lime. But I can tell I need a little more zing of just some flavor. So we're out of bouillon. That's not enough, we'll need more. We have plenty of bouillon in this house.
Make sure to have your favorite. Always check if it's not expired. We check by taste in this household.
We also check by if it's expired, right?
You can also just check by the label too.
Yeah, you can also just check by the label. So I think other than heat, we are really close. We add a little more salt, and I'm gonna mix up the last few jalapenos I have and throw it in. Okay, Pico's done. I chopped up a few more jalapenos, put them in there. Now my temperature's just right. Greatest Pico on the planet. I hope you enjoy. Have a lot of fun making it. It's delicious. Best served with fresh homegrown tomatoes.